In a time where it's all too easy to succumb to the dense, murky drudgery of the reality we find ourselves in, especially as we face an uneasy future for the coming months, we can look forwards to the return of a series that promises to revel in the joy and the heartache and the drama of mostly normal everyday life. A series that explores the complex satisfactions found in human interaction and the stories that our choices create, and one that just might be able to bring some light and some soul into the end of our year. This is why you should be excited for Life is Strange: True Colours. Life is Strange is sort of a cult darling, with a relatively small but absolutely dedicated fanbase that have fallen in love with the series' ability to deliver love and heartbreak through a narrative that is engaging both figuratively and literally. Since 2015, Life is Strange has captivated audiences with its choose-your-own-adventure style of gameplay and the melodramatic stories of its superpowered teen protagonists. And whether you relate to the characters and empathise with the issues presented in the games, or if you find joy in experiencing the series through a less serious, more comedic lens, it's difficult not to find some way that you can enjoy Life is Strange. And True Colours is looking like it will be no exception. The game has been in the works since 2017 and is being developed by Deck 9 Games, the team responsible for Life is Strange Before the Storm, a prequel to the original game. And for many fans this is great news, as a fair amount of the community considers Before the Storm their favourite of the series, and so are excited to see what the team will do with a brand new setting and original cast of characters. The main character of this new story, and the one through whom our choices will affect it, is Alex Chen. Alex is a sharp, witty young woman who has been hardened by growing up in the foster care system and embodies the strength and independence she is needed to survive. However, as is expected from Life is Strange, Alex has other strengths that separate her from normal people. Our protagonist is essentially a super empath and has the ability to sense the feelings of those around her and hear their thoughts, even seeing their emotional states as colourful auras that surround their being, with red signifying anger, blue sadness, purple fear, yellow joy and pink love. Excluding Chloe's incredibly laboured snarkiness from Before the Storm, this new power is definitely the most understated so far in the series, and while not being as high concept as time travel, it will probably be most similar in application to Max's power from the first game, in that it'll largely be used to get what you want out of people in the dialogue options. It seems Alex has had to hide this power for most of her life, as it can have a significant impact on her own emotions, so she's often been forced to be shy and isolated. And since we've been shown already that Alex's conscience struggles with having this power, it would be interesting to see if the ethics of using such an invasive ability are explored in the game. Now an adult, Alex decides to reunite with her estranged brother Gabe and travels to the small town of Haven Springs, Colorado to meet him. At first glance the place seems idyllic, a wholesome mining town surrounded by comforting forests at the foot of the Rocky Mountains. As Alex arrives, she is greeted by a tight-knit small town community and is welcomed by Gabe's friends as if they'd all been looking forward to meeting her for a long time. This happy reunion is short-lived, however, as Alex loses her brother in a mysterious accident. Now she must use her powers of empathy and work with her new friends in order to unravel the mystery in a town that might not quite be as perfect as it first seemed. And this is the story we can expect to see unfold over the course of True Colours, as we guide our hero to use her powers and solve the mystery without succumbing to the stress it puts on her own emotions, and we build and develop her relationships with the other residents of Haven Springs. It will be interesting to see how Alex's power is handled as a mechanic within the choices that drive the gameplay, how those choices affect Alex and the other characters, and how this in turn impacts the story. And equally as intriguing as the mystery plot is the possibility of seeing Alex and Gabe's backstories take form as the main story unfolds, perhaps giving us insight as to why they became estranged and how Alex got her powers. Of course, as is the case with all Life is Strange games, the story of other characters outside of the main character and even outside of the main storyline are equally as important to the overall experience of the game. So we can expect a full and colourful cast of supporting characters that will inhabit Haven Springs and will be interacted with over the course of the game. We don't know over much so far about the extended cast, however we do know that Alex's two closest friends and probably potential romantic interests are Ryan, a loyal and kind friend of Gabe's that wants to help Alex on her journey, and Steph, an energetic presence who may be familiar to fans of the series. True Colours has been confirmed to feature everyone's favourite Before the Storm supporting character in a more prominent role. Steph, the fun-loving nerd that Chloe spent some time playing D&D with and the players quickly came to love having around, will have significant interactions with the player character Alex Chen through the course of the game. We will even be getting a music-focused prequel DLC where we will be playing as Steph as she hosts a local radio show and sees her life develop over the course of a year. This bonus episode, called Wavelengths, will however only be available to people who purchase the deluxe and ultimate editions of the game. It's up to you how you feel about this decision, but it looks like Wavelengths won't be a crucial part of the storyline, rather being more of a little extra content for those people who can't get enough of Steph. And to be fair, she is delightful. Life is Strange True Colours has an important innovation to consider when comparing it to previous series instalments. Historically, Life is Strange games have followed an episodic release schedule, with the chapters of the games released over time, as if it were an interactive TV series. True Colours, on the other hand, will be available in its entirety upon release, while retaining the multiple chapters format. This means that you will likely still be able to compare and contrast your choices with those made by the wider community after each section, but will be able to immediately move on with the rest of the game. This choice is slightly controversial, in that the hype and theorising around cliffhanger chapter endings will have less of a chance to ferment. However, it does mean that you don't have to wait long to experience the story in its fullest, and you don't run the risk of feeling slightly let down by an underwhelming chapter, as you can just move on. Also, as the game has been in development since 2017 and will all be released together, we don't have to worry about any development issues between episodes leading to large delays or undercooked final experiences. But we'll just have to wait and see how this decision impacts the Life is Strange formula and how it affects the community's reception of the game. What won't be changing in True Colours, however, is the usual Life is Strange commitment to curating a dynamic and impactful soundtrack. The game's original score is composed by Angus and Julia Stone and will also heavily feature licensed music by artists such as Cyrus Reynolds, Phoebe Bridgers and Radiohead, with the talented streamer and musician MXMtoon providing a beautiful cover of Creep that Alex Chen sings in the game. And with True Colours' focus on emotion and Alex's struggle with relating to others and dealing with her isolation, it's safe to assume that music will play a large part in her journey through the game, especially since we've seen that so many of the main characters are very much musically inclined. And so we'll have plenty of opportunity to play the fun game of whenever we recognise a song in Life is Strange going, "Oh, I know this, I must be hip and cool." Of course, True Colours will be its own story, so you don't have to worry about playing the other games first and will be able to jump right in with no prior experience. Even if True Colours is your first video game ever, the inherently welcoming and unchallenging nature of the simplistic gameplay and its controls mean the barrier of entry for the game is very low. If you do feel like picking up the other games in the series though, the Life is Strange Remastered Collection will be released and will be included in the Ultimate Edition of True Colours, giving you access to Life is Strange 1 and Before the Storm Remastered, but not to Life is Strange 2. The series is also coming to Nintendo Switch, as well as being on PC and other next and last gen consoles, so there's plenty of opportunity to get started. Are you excited for the new Life is Strange? What do you think about the unstaggered release schedule? And what are your theories for the mysteries of Haven Springs? Please share your thoughts with us in the comments, as the conversations surrounding these games in the community are one of the best parts of the series. I really hope you've enjoyed this video and want to thank you for spending this time with me. If you did enjoy it, please leave a like, and if you want, you can share this video anywhere you'd like, as it'd really help me out. There are plenty of other videos on the channel you might enjoy as well, and you could subscribe, ring the bell and follow me on Twitter for updates. I've been thinking about making a video on how I got into Life is Strange, even though it really isn't my usual kind of thing, and I think it might help other people start to enjoy the series too, so please let me know if that's something you'd be interested in. For now though, thank you again for watching and have a wonderful day. Bye.